In the NFC Championship game, the Eagles secured their 15th victory in their past 16 games with a commanding 55-23 result against the Washington Commanders, establishing a new record for the most points scored in a conference title game. Jalen Daniels performed admirably, completing 29 of 48 passes for 255 yards and 2 total touchdowns. Yet he fell short of becoming the first rookie quarterback to guide his team to a Super Bowl. Conversely, the Commanders suffered from numerous setbacks, including poorly timed penalties and 4 turnovers, each of which resulted in an Eagles touchdown. Philadelphia deserves recognition for capitalizing on these opportunities. The performance of the Eagles was comprehensive, illustrating their capability to contend in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts delivered his most impressive postseason performance, rushing for 3 touchdowns and surpassing 200 passing yards for the first time in this postseason, finishing with 20 completions out of 28 attempts for 246 yards. Saquon Barkley excelled once more, beginning with a notable 60-yard touchdown on his initial carry and accumulating 118 rushing yards along with a total of 3 touchdowns. While Philadelphia's defense conceded some yards and points, they made crucial plays that supported the offense. This marks the first instance since the 1940 NFL Championship game, in which the Chicago Bears triumphed 73-0, that Washington allowed 6 rushing touchdowns in a single game. The Eagles secured their initial Super Bowl title 7 years prior against the New England Patriots. 2 seasons ago, they found themselves tied in the dying minutes against the Kansas City Chiefs before suffering a defeat. Given the Eagles' performance over the last 4 months, they possess a strong opportunity to amend that previous loss to the Chiefs and secure their second Lombardi trophy. The Commanders were unable to withstand significant errors, particularly in the form of turnovers in Philadelphia. In the first half, they committed 2 such mistakes. Following Barkley's impressive 60-yard touchdown run on the Eagles' opening offensive play, Commanders receiver Dyami Brown had the ball forcibly dislodged by Eagles All-Pro linebacker Zach Bond. The Eagles recovered the fumble in Washington's territory, leading to a brief drive that was concluded with Barkley's second touchdown run, establishing a 14-3 lead. The Commanders remained competitive in the game, achieving a touchdown from Terry McLaurin, which narrowed Philadelphia's advantage to 14-12. However, the Eagles orchestrated a touchdown drive in the final 2 minutes of the half, significantly worsening the situation for Washington. Following a kickoff return fumble by Jeremy McNichols, a penalty for unnecessary roughness against cornerback Mike Sainristil for knocking Barkley out of bounds sustained Philadelphia's offensive momentum. With 39 seconds remaining in the half, A.J. Brown scored, extending the Eagles' lead to 27-12. Despite the score, the Commanders did not perform poorly overall. They successfully maintained drives through critical 3rd and 4th down conversions. Except for Barkley's initial run, they effectively contained him during the first half. A field goal just before halftime added to their score. Nevertheless, yielding touchdown drives of 48 and 24 yards due to turnovers marked a significant setback. Had they avoided those 2 errors, they would likely have trailed only 27-15 at the intermission. The Commanders are still 1 or 2 off-seasons away from assembling a roster comparable to those of the other 3 teams competing in the conference championship. They continued to have a chance on Sunday due to Daniels' efforts. However, his teammates did not meet expectations. Another fumble, this time from Austin Eckler late in the 3rd quarter near midfield, resulted in yet another abbreviated field for an Eagles touchdown drive. Hurts executed a tush-push, increasing the Eagles' lead to 41-23. This score followed a series of offsides infractions committed by Washington at the goal line, prompting the referee to caution that continued infractions could lead to the Eagles being awarded a touchdown. The Eagles are too proficient to be granted points easily. The Commanders conceded 3 touchdowns attributable to fumbles. Despite Daniels' endeavors to keep his team competitive, he could not surmount such a substantial deficit. Ultimately, the Eagles converted the game into a blowout during the 4th quarter. Barkley's 3rd touchdown of the contest, which elevated the Eagles' lead to 48-23, allowed their fans to commence celebrations prematurely. Will Shipley secured the final touchdown on a 2-yard run with just over 3 minutes remaining in the game. The Eagles began the season sluggishly, suggesting a continuation of the previous season's downfall. Nonetheless, they possessed the talent to embark on a lengthy winning streak, positioning themselves as the premier team in the NFL. If they can replicate their performance from Sunday in one more game, this season, which commenced with numerous uncertainties, could culminate in a championship. Statistical analyses and hazy recollections may suggest that the Philadelphia Eagles' 55-23 triumph in the 2024 NFC Championship game was merely a straightforward victory, an unremarkable hurdle on their journey to Super Bowl 59. However, it is essential to acknowledge that the eliminated Washington Commanders, much like their performance throughout the season, exhibited unwavering tenacity and remained within striking distance. This persistence continued until a crucial moment early in the fourth quarter. With the Eagles ahead 34-23, they were advancing after a fumble by Commanders running back Austin Eckler, ultimately reaching the Washington 1-yard line when Saquon Barkley's 22-yard run concluded just before the goal line. Most of the approximately 70,000 spectators present at Lincoln Financial Field likely anticipated that a quintessential Philly tush-push would secure the game on the following play. However, the ensuing events unfolded differently than expected. What transpired next was characterized by Eagles' second-team All-Pro left tackle Jordan Mailata as mental warfare. That's precisely what it was, Mailata remarked. Mental warfare. This assessment stems from the Commanders' altered strategy in attempting to defend a play that the Eagles have rendered nearly indefensible in short-yardage scenarios, especially during fourth downs or at the goal line in recent years. Over the subsequent 5 plays, with one being a carry by Philadelphia quarterback Jalen Hurts that resulted in no gain, the ball gradually moved closer to the end zone, with Washington being penalized 4 times, twice for offsides and twice for encroachment involving defensive tackle Jonathan Allen and linebacker Frankie Louvu, each receiving 2 penalties. It was quite amusing, said Eagles right guard Mekhi Becton. I've never witnessed anything like that. At one juncture, Becton recounted a Commander's defensive lineman vocally urging, "Come on, run the play, run the play." Becton opted not to disclose the identity of the Washington player. He further commented that the physicality displayed by the Eagles' front line can provoke unconventional reactions from their opponents. You can always discern when an opponent is on the verge of conceding, Becton explained. We can recognize when that moment approaches. The infractions were evidently calculated attempts to disrupt the Eagles' progression, with Hurts being contacted as Louvu leapt over both lines. Louvu indicated that his strategy involved attempting to time his leap over the crouched lineman with the snap of the ball. If I succeed, I succeed. If not, I just recover, Louvu stated. However, on the third occasion, the referees informed me that I would receive a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. I was uncertain about the rationale behind that, but it seemed they preferred a touchdown for them. Therefore, I ceased my actions, and that's how it concluded. Indeed, referee Sean Hochuli announced to the spectators that the officials would grant a touchdown to the Eagles should the Commanders' maneuvers, or tactics, based on one's viewpoint, persist. I suppose I ought to reacquaint myself with the rulebook, linebacker Bobby Wagner commented. I was not aware that they could simply award a touchdown. Hochuli clarified this point. To put it succinctly, a team is prohibited from committing multiple fouls with the intention of thwarting a score, he articulated in a post-game pool report. Thus, Louvu leaped over the ball several times. That was when the warning was issued. Moreover, if the purpose is to avert a score, we can consequently award the score. The play clock restricts the offense from utilizing a hard count excessively, Hochuli indicated. In the case of the defense, since we classify it as an attempt to prevent the scoring act that is repeated, that is where the likelihood of awarding the score arises, he remarked. Wagner conveyed that he attempted to communicate to the officials that some Eagles players were positioned offside, according to his viewpoint. You've got to take a shot. You've got to do something, he stated. It's an excellent play. It's a brilliant concept. It's tough to stop. Were I in their position, I would execute it as well. We, as a defense, recognize they are going to run it. We have successfully halted it on a few occasions. And several times we jumped offside. We simply cannot find ourselves in a situation where they run that play. Similarly, D lineman Clelin Ferrell was unaware that officials could grant points. However, he noted that the Commanders' resilience at the goal line underscored the team's character. "What was that? 5 consecutive plays?" Ferrell inquired. "That's the essence of your team on the 1-yard line, trailing, yet players continue to fight. It makes no difference." And it might have been successful, had the Eagles not adhered to their own discipline. There was a lot of trash talk from their side, Mailata noted. "Jalen did an outstanding job maintaining our composure, steadiness, and focus, particularly due to the extra theatrics and chatter they were producing. Yet, Hurts continuously varied the cadence on them, which required us to remain attentive. From my perspective, the mental aspect seemed to be wearing them down significantly. It was the most chaotic phase I have ever experienced." Lane Johnson, the Eagles' perennial Pro Bowl right tackle, expressed that he could not fault the Commanders for attempting something different in their moment of need. "This is a crucial game. You can't hold anything back. They played hard, which is why they are in this contest," Johnson remarked. "They were making efforts to stop it." Ultimately, however, Washington was unable to succeed. Hurts focused in on the 6th play, all originating from the 1-yard line or closer for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the evening, increasing the Eagles' lead to 41-23 and effectively sealing the outcome of the game, said Philadelphia Pro Bowl center Cam Jurgens. "They displayed a considerable amount of emotion, and they were quite vocal. However, we executed effectively." Once again, Saquon Barkley had a remarkable day. The Eagles' running back took only one play from scrimmage to disrupt the Commanders' defense, as he dashed for a 60-yard touchdown on Philadelphia's initial possession, adding to his highlight reel for the 2024 season. The touchdown followed a promising opening drive for the visitors, who managed to score 3 points after securing 2 successful 4th-down conversions. However, once the Eagles established a lead, they maintained control. Barkley required merely 15 carries to accumulate 118 yards and 3 touchdowns, his mere presence instilling fear in the Washington defense, which allowed Philadelphia's other playmakers to thrive in a notably balanced exhibition. Washington quarterback Jayden Daniels aimed to culminate his impressive season with the first-ever appearance by a rookie quarterback in the Super Bowl. Despite the disproportionate final score, the occasion did not prove overwhelming for him. A succession of 3rd and 4th-down conversions during the opening drive instilled early uncertainty in the home crowd. Nevertheless, Vic Fangio's defensive strategy was exceptional, compelling Daniels to contend with persistent pressure from the front. Although he often managed to extend plays, he ultimately succumbed to the relentless pressure, resulting in stalled drives and turnovers. Undoubtedly, Daniels can take pride in his performance despite the loss, and it is now the responsibility of the Washington coaching staff to develop their rookie talent and facilitate his progression to the next level. Entering Sunday's contest, Washington had exhibited no turnovers throughout their playoff journey. However, they conceded the ball 4 times at Lincoln Financial Field, and against the formidable Eagles offense, the game was effectively decided. The Eagles displayed a merciless ability to exploit these turnovers, amassing 28 points as a result, while significant pass interference and 3rd-down penalties materialized at critical junctures of the game, squashing any momentum for Washington. A game characterized by an extraordinary 7 rushing touchdowns for the Eagles suggests a strong emphasis on the ground game. Yet Jalen Hurts also demonstrated his best passing performance of the playoffs thus far. After aggregating 259 yards in the Eagles' initial 2 playoff games, Hurts completed 20 of 28 passes for 246 yards and 1 touchdown, with A.J. Brown emerging prominently, recording 6 receptions for 98 yards.